apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
From the gate now.
What's good? You are tuning to Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man, Kill. I got my squad with me. In effect, as always, little sis Porsche. What's going on, miss?
Not a whole lot, Kill. Good to be here. How are you?
No doubt. Everything is good. I got my brother, Neltron, out the NO. What's going on, baby?
Peace, Kill. How y'all doing, man? How you doing? Happy to be here as always.
No doubt. I see you got that calm up in the background, represent what we're going to be talking about tonight. My man Rel out of Philadelphia. We ain't going to talk about the Sixers right now. We're just going to keep it moving and keep everything on the positive note. What's going on with you, good brother?
Man, happy to be here. Happy to take my mind off of Philly sports right now. So
I feel you all the way across the board on that. My man, our tour guide for the day, I am God. What's going on, fam? What's good with you, baby?
What I was, bro? I'm good, man. Can't complain, man. I'm good. Happy to be here again. Appreciate you having me.
No doubt. You know what it is. Always an open seat for you here. But y'all know me. Let's get right into it. Today is going to be one of our salute shows to a city. We are going to be talking about Chicago today. That's why God is here to be our tour guide through it. If you've ever seen one of our salute shows to a borough or a city, you know, we talk about our favorite MCs, favorite albums, producers, all of that. But then we always have a tour guide who's from that city, because I always wanted this to be, when we did the one on Philly, it was like, yo, we got to talk about where you get a Philly cheesesteak from. Because that's always the question I get on the, on the gram or on Twitter, where to get a good cheesesteak. So we wanted these shows to be a tour guide. So if you're going to Chicago, you can watch the show and you know where to go, where not to go. Also with Chicago. Yeah, I mean, so that's what we're going to be jumping up today. Porsche, ladies first, why don't you tell us this? What was the first artist or album that you heard out of Chicago as far as hip hop? Like what put you on to hip hop out of Chicago?
So for me, it wasn't actually an album. It was Common. It was Common's "I Used to Love Her." That was the first track or song, I guess, I heard from anyone out of Chicago. And actually, that was like told to me after the fact. I didn't know, being as though, where I was located, regions didn't really mean much. So it wasn't like, oh, this is dope because it's coming out of Chicago, or like, oh, this is different. It just, it was told to me later. So it was Common. Common's my introduction to Chicago. And I guess it would have been "I Used to Love Her," that song.
All right, no doubt. Same for me. It was Calm. It was the Can I Borrow $1 joint. Take It Easy. Yeah, I mean, I think up to that point, it always seemed like up to that point, hip hop was New York, Jersey, Philly, LA, I guess a little Houston with the Ghetto Boys and Face, so it was kind of like, oh, here's an MC out of Chicago. And if I'm not mistaken, I may have saw Common in the Unsigned Hype in the Source first, which kind of let me know, because if I'm not mistaken, Take It Easy, the video, I don't think he says Chicago. He might, I don't know, keep in mind, like, that's probably like I haven't listened to that album in years, so I can't remember if it was in the song that I heard Chicago, or if it was in the Unsigned Hype write up, like, yo, it's an MC out of Chicago, Common Sense. But yeah, so same for me. That was my introduction to hip hop out of the shop. What about you, Rel?
It was Common. It was the Soul by the Pound video off the Can I Borrow $1 album. I didn't like whatever the first. I cannot remember the first video. I didn't like the first song I heard from him.
That was a Take It Easy joint.
I felt like I didn't like his flow. He was kind of rhyming off beat. I don't know. It was just something to get adjusted to, and I know he was from Chicago from reading in a magazine. I want to say it was the Source too. That's how I knew who he was and where he was from. Because I mean, you know, back in those days, the Source was like, you know, we all, you know, read freaking every publication. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's how I learned about a lot of artists. You know what I'm saying? So, but the first song that I liked and I paid attention to really was the Soul by the Pound joint, and that was my intro. Yeah.
Soul by the
And
Pound was crazy.
And you know, that led into the next album, the Resurrection album, which, you know, we don't even gotta talk about that. So that was my first introduction to Chicago was that Common.
All right, no doubt. The reason I'm always finding one of a million reasons why I love doing the show is to get different people's perspectives on how it fits in. So, like, you know, me and Rel's perspective may have been different because we're from Philly, and Portia's perspective from Vancouver. So now I'm interested because Neltron, you've always said New Orleans is kind of like right there in the middle. So just interested to see, was it another MC or what? Who put you on the Chicago hip hop?
Oh, Rap City. I was sitting there watching the video. I used to love her. And I'm like, wait, what is this? So all the references he made. So that was how my introduction into Common was the video I used to love.
All right, that's dope. Eddie, what's good with you? What was your introduction to Chicago hip hop?
Hey, for me, it was either I can't remember which come first, but the two earliest I remember was probably either the Bratz Funkified or Po Pimp by Do or Die. I don't know which one came first, but it was those two.
All right, no doubt. Now, God, you're Chicago's finest, so you talk to us about what was your early recollections of coming up in Chicago and hip hop. Some of the people who we wouldn't know about, you know what I mean, who you know helped you become the MC who you are today.
I would have to say my first introduction was EC Illa, you know what I'm saying, aka White Folks. He remember one of the legendary rap crews, you know what I'm saying, out of Chicago, the Ill State Assassins. And it was 97. And he had a project out called Power Moves, and I think the name of the song was The Game You Claim, featuring Traxler. And for those who don't know, Traxler is the legendary producer behind Twister Adrenaline Rush. You know what I'm saying? He produced that in its entirety. So EC Illa and Traxler, The Game You Claim from Power Moves in 97. I could just remember like one of the last lines of the song, he was like, ill state until the world blow up. And that's like some Chicago shit, like the gangs you know what I'm saying, say whatever it is they claim to the world blow. So if you was GD, it's GD to the world blow. You know what I'm saying? I would just remember that line, ill state to the world blow. But the shit that stuck with me the most was like Eddie said, you know what I'm saying, Do or Die, Po Pimp. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Johnny P. That's the legendary vocalist, male vocalist on the hook. The Do You Wanna Ride in the backseat of a caddy, chopping it up with Do or Die. Like as a shorty, like we weren't supposed to know nothing about that. I can't even tell what was that? That was 96. So in 96, I'm 10. I shouldn't know nothing about that, but we were singing that shit through the hood like crazy. So that's the most memorable first impression of like Chicago, you know what I'm saying, hip hop with me is Do or Die, but EC Illa was the first.
All right, tell me this. Was there an MC from Chicago that made you want to rhyme?
Twister, no doubt, undoubtedly Twister. That's Twister. That's my era. Like Common was that's my era, but I had to go back and do the knowledge on Common because in 94, I was 8. I wasn't really immersed into rap and hip hop yet. I knew of it, you know what I'm saying? OG used to play music in the crib and all that. But Twister, actually it was Crucial Conflict. Crucial Conflict and Do or Die got me into rap, you know what I'm saying, as far as Chicago. Hey in the Middle of the Barn, that's another one. Like Po Pimp, Hey in the Middle of the Barn, them two right there was like, that was Chicago calling cards. You know, it's funny as hell. It's a meme floating around, and it's different variations of it, but it's like a cartoon, and it's somebody like hiding from like a cartoon version of Michael Myers, or Jason, not Michael Myers, Jason. And it's like he can't find a person, and then he say, "Do you want to ride?" Then a person come out the hiding spot like in the backseat of a cat. That's hilarious, but yeah, that's definitely one of them joints right there.
All right, dope. All right, tell me this. Porsche, who do you think is the dopest MC out the Shine? And who is your favorite MC out the Shine? And are they the same people? And what's the differential and why?
So for me, they're the same. I think the dopest is Common. And I say that because Common's run of like his first, I want to say like 4 albums are like very good. His consistency, his longevity, his discography, like I followed Common with a little bit of a dip along the way, but all the way up until Black America Again. For me, Common is always been sort of a forward thinker. I love MC Common. I don't love actor Common. So to me, he's the dopest out of Chicago. And the reason for that is, honestly, it's I Used to Love Her. The concept of that song, I don't think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it had ever been done before. And
No.
Common comes out with this concept, and then everybody starts, like, you know, doing it in some way, shape, or form, and you know, using hip hop as a metaphor and whatever. But for me, that was just it. Like, I was mind blown at that song. I love it. I love everything about it. And not to mention, Common's albums to me are pretty solid. He's got 2 of my favorite hip hop songs of all time. With The Light, you guys know I love The Light. And I Used to Love Her. So yeah.
If a song is about love, anywhere
True.
there's love, I used to love her.
I'm
The
such
Light.
a sucker for
We
romance and hip hop and love inside of hip hop. Like, I just love it. Anyway, so Common for me is the dopest. I think for that reason, and he's my favorite out of Chicago. So.
All right, no doubt. For me, the dopest, I co-sign with you, Khan. I think Khan, when we did a show called 97 Holes, where we were naming our favorite MCs and what year would you tag on them to be the best. I think 97 Calm was just crazy. That's the one day it all makes sense. You know, I felt like I love that album so much because it covers almost every gambit. If you want storytelling, you got, to me, one of the dopest storytelling series ever with Stolen Moments. If you want to go into bars, you got Hungry, you got Making a Name for Ourselves, where he's going bar to bar with Cannabis, who at that time was probably the dopest MC
Yes.
in the planet Earth. So he wasn't trying to duck no rack, like, okay, look, I don't want to get on no track with Cannabis because he's gonna kill me. You had Calm sliding through Lyricist Lounge, freestyling on Stretch and Bob off the top. You know what I mean? Like, he just does it all to me. You know, he's got the uplifting songs, you know, the Retrospect for Life with Lauryn Hill, just about abortion and just everything. I feel like Common encompasses everything like that. And he had an incredible run. Like Rel was saying with the God, what was the song we were just saying, Rel? Not Take It Easy, but the Booming in Your Jeans.
Soul by the Pound.
Soul by the Pound. Like that remix, that Right in the Resurrection, Right in the One Day It'll All Make Sense, Right in Like Water for Chocolate. Like, truth be told, Common has one of the 3 best album runs in hip hop, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Sure.
In the longevity, I could say Common has been relevant from 93 to at least 2007 for me. You know, that's a hell of a run. And he's also got a dope ass bounce back, because Electric Circus was 5 garbage cans to me. That nigga Bounce Back with B, which is a 5 mic classic. That Universal Mind Control was 5 trash cans, and he bounced right back with, I forgot whether it was Fine and Forever, but
Fine and Forever, yeah.
Fine and Forever. So I mean, too, you gotta look at somebody's bounce back game too. Yeah. You know, it's like, to me, if you were a hooper, you had a horrible season, but then the next season you come back and you just wreck shit. You know what I mean? And not a lot of MCs. So many MCs get caught when they fall off or they throw up a brick album. It's just downhill from there, you know, and they never can bounce back. So Common has that. My favorite MC out the shot has got to be Kanye West. Now, I know everybody out there, I'll say this, folk have written Kanye off. I get it, the Trump shit, the Dondas, all that shit. But to me, when Ye came out, he was a breath of fresh air for me in hip hop, you know, because it took me back to the days of 88, 89, when you could have the NWA, you could have Fuck the Police, You can have a 2 Live Crew with ass and titties everywhere. You can have a Public Enemy telling me to read Malcolm X, and you can have a Kid and Playing a Kwame who is just trying to have a good time. You know, that's the hip hop that I came in when you had all these different channels like on cable, and you could just, when you in the mood for some rah-rah shit, put on NWA. You in the mood for this, you put on that. And when Ye came out, it was like a breath of fresh air of like, yo, like this dude is just being himself. You know, he's talking about, you know, self-conscious, like being self-conscious. Like, you know, he was talking about things that I could relate to. So definitely, you know, one of my favorite MCs. So that's my favorite. Neltron, you tell me, who's your dopest versus who's your favorite?
I'm a co-sign PorscheShot.com on both favorite and dopest. What he did on Resurrection with the orange pineapple juice and watermelon, man, just his style just kept just getting better and better. Like you said, real nigga quotes, like Water for Chocolate. And can I ask y'all like any songs off of Electric Circus? Like 2 or 3, or y'all just trash the whole album?
No, it's like 2 or 3 on there. That's all right.
Yeah, I like a couple.
For me.
Yeah.
It's like
for me, like when I saw him,
remember.
Yeah,
when I saw him
for me, it's one of those things where like Calm has so many great albums that's like the last one that ever comes to mind. Like I don't like anything enough to be like, oh, Electric Circus, let me spin that. You know, like never, ever that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, another thing.
I'm
sorry.
I was gonna say when I saw Common perform some of them joints live, like
that's what I was about to say.
More.
His stage presence, when he came to Essence, he came to the House of Blues. He did the like Water for Chocolate at the Essence and House of Blues, and the dude did a wardrobe change at the House of Blues like 4 or 5 times. He break in, he just was moving the crowd. And I'm like, all right, this dude is solid to me, so that's why he's one of the dopest out of the shot and my favorite out of the shot. So.
Nice.
I think the thing with Electric Circus, it goes back to a point that Porsche made. There's no song on there that makes me want to go back and pull it back out. It's the restaurant that you and your girl go to and y'all try it. Well, I tried it and the shit was whack. Here's the thing with Electric Circus. I tried to like it numerous times because I was a huge Calm fan. So I was like, let me go back and listen again. By the third time, I was like, fuck it. This just is not my shit. Like, it's just not for me. The video, fucking sweaters and talking to deaf women in the fucking windows. Like, I was just like, this is just not for me. This is just not my steez. So you got Calm for both favorite and
yes.
All right, no doubt. Rel, what about you? Favorite dopest?
Dopest, I'm gonna go with Calm again. Like you said, that 3-album run was crazy. And then like he had the Bad album, and then he came back with B. And like B to me, B reminds me of, and I hate to say this, I sound like somebody on Twitter, but B reminds me of Illmatic kind of. Like it's like short and to the point, you know what I'm saying? It's like concise, it's like no frills, it's nothing unnecessary. It's just straight, it's not a long album, but everything is just, you know, it's a 5-mic classic to me, and it's just straight through, not too many songs, you know what I'm saying? So, and it was like to come back from Electric Circus with that is like, it's crazy to me, you know what I'm saying? And his longevity, when you said the numbers, I didn't even think about it like that. That's a nice run, you know what I'm saying? As far as favorite, I'm gonna go another direction. For me, favorite would be Lupe Fiasco. The nerd in me loves Lupe, man. Like I'm like Food and Liquor, the Cool, like those first 2 are crazy, and I like his last one, Droga's Waves. Like it's a little kind of, it's conceptual. Half of it's not conceptual, the other half is just regular. It takes some time, but it's a really good album. And the lyricism is amazing. And you know what I'm saying? Like one thing you can never question with Lupe is the lyricism, man. Sometimes it's a little too for some people, but for me, for the nerd and me, I love it. You know what I'm saying? And whenever he puts something out, I'm gonna give it a chance and listen to it. So I would say Lupe would be my favorite.
All right, no doubt. Eddie, what about you? Favorite versus dopest?
All right, so I'm gonna give my answer with an asterisk. So Common, for all time, I have him as my favorite and dopest of all time from Chicago, but with an asterisk because I find Common his new stuff. I don't find myself anticipating it, and I really can't listen to it like that. You know, like I feel like he's a completely different MC now than he was back then. But you know, you guys already mentioned it. Like as far as like his album runs, you know, those first, well, not the first three, because he had one before Resurrection, but from Resurrection to like Water for Chocolate, that 3 album run was incredible. Obviously, B and Finding Forever. Yeah, dope. And one other thing that we didn't mention was one of the dopest diss tracks of all time with the Big
yeah. Most def.
Yo, he earned my respect. I mean, I respect him. He really earned my respect for that one because he didn't fuck around on that one. He did not mess around. So yeah.
A bitch nigga with an attitude named Q.
Hey, that nigga said you call yourself. He said you more like a 22. I said,
oh my god.
I'm a higher caliber MC. Oh, stop it.
So Common those all time, but for right now, if I'm gonna say the dopest and my favorite right now that I'm anticipating is I Am God. Like his 3 album run is crazy. And his level of lyricism and being able to do everything from, you know, the lyrical stuff to the storytelling to visual painting a picture, having concept albums, the whole package.
Gratitude, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's gratitude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And on that note, real quick, where can they get all your stuff at, God?
I'm streaming everywhere on all major platforms, and if you want to support and buy a digital copy, buy a vinyl, buy a CD, you can always hit up godsgift.bandcamp.com. That's GAWDSGIFT.bandcamp.com.
And again, like you said, I'm trying. One of the things I'm learning is sometimes we're having to teach our supporters how to support us. You know what I mean? Because this isn't like back in the day when it was as simple as just buying my album. One of my people said to me like, yo, I'm streaming the hell out of you and you know, King James's album. I'm like, that's cool, but cop it off of Bandcamp. You know, because the boy thought like, yo, I'm streaming it for you, like I'm getting y'all numbers up, and I'm like, good look, but that's not how the game works. So again, if you really want to support artists and make sure they get the bulk of the money, definitely hit up their Bandcamp. God, you tell me, who is your favorite MC out the shop versus who you think is the nastiest MC out the shop?
This tough because when you talk about the nastiest, there's so many names, and I'm talking about like legendary dudes like Vakil. Shout out to Vakil, Mole Man. Shout out J.U. Ice, nigga that beat, you know what I'm saying, Eminem in a battle twice. You know what I'm saying? One was filmed. You know what I'm saying?
I saw him.
Hold tight. Now, are these MCs, because I want you to differentiate it for me, are these MCs who were like signed, or were these like local MCs? Were these, you know, because now I'm like, okay, well, whose crew do they run with? Or like, so the MCs you're naming, are they in, like Chicago?
Vakil is more, that Vakil and Juice, they definitely legends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they both known outside, but it's like, that's like the super underground circles. You know what I'm saying? Vakil was Mole Man. Mole Man is a independent Chicago label and movement. It was moving, I think, like the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Like still around, but you know what I'm saying? Vakil came up through Mole Man and Juice. I don't know what crew he came up through, but Juice was like 90s. You know what I'm saying? That era, like Lyricist Lounge type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, freestyle fanatic, like Juice was and still is a fucking beast. Like he's still doing it. You know what I'm saying?
But he beat him twice.
I believe I know he beat him once because it's one on video, but I think he beat him twice in a battle. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
yeah, he was around. It was another dude, Supernatural. They were Juice and Supernatural were like, you didn't want to battle them. Like them dudes was crazy with it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Like freestyle fanatic type shit. But
yeah,
if I gotta go, my favorite is Twister. You know what I'm saying? Like childhood, you know what I'm saying, hero, you know what I'm saying? Like I thought I was Baby Twister at one point in time. The whole speed rap shit, you know what I'm saying? Who I think the nastiest, I would probably have to go with Rail and throw that to Lupe. You know what I'm saying? And again, I said that's tough. You got Vakil, you got motherfuckers like Juice, you got, you know what I'm saying? Like we got so many spitters, you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Calm, you know what I'm saying? Like And but that's my two right there. I'm gonna say the nastiest is probably Lupe, you know what I'm saying, and my favorite to be Twisted. Like Real said, that Food and Liquor in the Cool. Well, that was my shit, man. That's my shit right there.
All right, tell me this, Porsche. Top 3 favorite albums out the shop. What you got?
I have Resurrection by Common. Sorry,
Are you sure? Like you sound like you on Family.
No,
Feud, like,
I don't want to get into a coughing fit. I'm sorry, my throat's sore, and I'm trying to like cool it with it. But Resurrection, College Dropout, I love College Dropout, and Kanye to me is like when Kanye came out as like, you know, on his own studio albums and stuff. I don't remember thinking like, oh, this is a breath of fresh air, but I definitely remember thinking he's got the ability to make very, very good albums, like memorable songs, dope bars. Jesus Walks is such a dope track, and I feel like people don't talk about it enough. Although everyone talks about Kanye, it's just his debut and, you know, sophomore albums and stuff never really get mentioned, in my opinion. But anyway, so Resurrection, College Dropout, and Like Water for Chocolate. And those, Resurrection and Like Water for Chocolate, for me, you guys know, I Used to Love Her and The Light. Like, of course, those are going to be, and those are just the ones that are, you know, the ones that stick out for me. But the whole album is good, both of them. They're both very, very top tier albums to me. So.
Dope. For me, the first one I got, One Day It'll All Make Sense. That's my fave Com album. At that time, it's 97. I just graduated college in Morgan. I moved to Atlanta with my girl at the time. Things wasn't working out. Couldn't find a job. You know, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And it literally, from everything from like the title, One Day It'll All Make Sense, like that album just spoke to my situation. You know, I'm not one of those people who have the story of like, I mean, outside like Public Enemy and me not selling drugs, like, you know, I've seen people say, man, this album saved my life. And this album, I've never really had that, but One Day It'll All Make Sense, like that album just spoke to my situation. Like everything about it was just such a dope album to me. And again, I think across the board, it encompasses everything. I don't think No ID and Doug Inf get enough props for what they were doing with Resurrection and One Day It'll All Make Sense, especially not Doug Inf. You know, I'll speak on No ID later. I feel like he's now getting those props, but I feel like people forget about Doug Inf and Why Not, Twilight Zone, and some of the other producers that were out there during that time with that album. The second one, I'm like Porsche, but I'm going with the College Dropout, the bootleg, not the official joint, the bootleg. I'll never forget, I'm in Ben's Chili Bowl in DC. Bootleg man comes in. Yo, I got that. I'm like, oh shit, the new Kanye. So I grabbed that. And to me, the bootleg is 5 mics. It's one of those things where I hate when the label either gets to it or samples couldn't get cleared. Because I'm talking about the bootleg had the original All Falls Down.
With Lauren.
No, not with Lauren. Not
you
with
talking about Selena Johnson?
Not even Selena Johnson. When it was a skit, where the album started off with Mos Def introducing him like it was a Def Comedy Jam special, a Def Poetry Jam special, and he came up and did the All Falls Down joint a cappella. He's got the laugh track in the background, like he's doing it like what do y'all call that? Spoken word. Like he's doing it like that. It was
interesting.
And it was just that. I'll send it to y'all. I need that.
Please do.
Right, I need that. Please.
They had the Good, the Bad, and Ugly with Consequence.
Yep.
That joint. Keep the Receipt with Old Dirty Bastard was on the bootleg.
Oh, damn.
The original Homecoming with John Legend.
Right. That was on there.
That's my shit.
And even the joint, the workout plan was different. It wasn't a lot different, but it was different.
Yeah.
So I just felt like maybe he got in the studio and just decided, hey, let me tweak this and try to make it bigger. And in my opinion, it didn't need to be bigger, but definitely College Dropout. And then the last one, I guess I gotta go with B, man. You know what I mean? Because I really thought Khan was dead in the water. I was like, yo, fuck this nigga. Like, yo, he's out here talking deaf chicks. Like, and I don't have nothing against deaf people. I don't want nobody getting at me like deaf women. Y'all got it. It just
Motherfucking deal is hilarious.
no, I'm
bro.
dead ass.
But he be flying them in.
Shit I go through during the day, boy, I will have deaf people.
Yeah. He will. Everything he say, they just gotta put a
Deaf
disclaimer
people-
out there.
I'm not even gonna ask.
Don't
I'll wait
do
till we
this.
get
Don't
off
do
here
it.
with that.
Don't
But
do it.
yeah, I'll have deaf people get at me. So all that to say, I didn't think he could bounce back from that. And I'll never forget, I'm watching the Chappelle show and Kanye and Common did the food. And I was just like,
that was
what
That's
the
that
fuck
in the
shit.
kitchen.
was that?
That's
Yeah, and the
that
kid,
shit.
I mean, and the energy of that, and people may not know the original B had a studio version of the food. And nobody liked it. Like I remember being on OK Play and everybody was like, yo, this shit is whack. Put the live version on it.
Right.
And that's how the live version ended up being on B.
That shit
Because the
was
studio
fire.
version just didn't have that same energy that the live version did. I heard that, then I heard the corner. And it was like, and Com says it on the joint they say. He said, you know, they said the crochet pants was whack. They heard the corner and said that nigga's back. Like, and
He
that's
did say
exactly
that.
how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. Like, yeah. And Com, it reminds me of that scene in Men's Society where Bill Duke was like, you know, you done fucked up, right? Like, Common knew he fucked up. Like, that's why he was talking about the crochet pants and niggas said he was whack. Like, he kept his ear to the streets and knew what niggas was saying. And to be able to bounce back like that with Kanye, who was at that time probably the dopest producer on the planet, with 2 J Dilla cuts, like, you couldn't go wrong with that combination. So one day it'll all make sense. College Dropout, the bootleg version, and B. Neltron, what you got for your top 3 albums out the shop?
I got One Day It All Makes Sense. I don't really have to, you already spoke on it, the intro. He was the Hungry song, the Real Nigga quotes, Stolen Moments, just the way Stolen Moments start, like keep picking up like Rashid, and you hear all the sound effects, and he's like, yo, somebody broke to your shit, and he's trying to narrow it down. And then he found a dude, and I'm just like, yeah, this dude is different. Then my second one is going to be Late Registration, Kanye's sophomore album. I just got back from Iraq, and Gold Digger was out, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. You got Jamie Foxx on there, and but I heard the album, and I'm like, this is really good. Because I wasn't. College Dropout came out and all the younger cast was on. And I'm like, you know what? If everybody's on it, I don't really want to listen to it. But Late Registration came out, and I went back. But Late Registration is my second one, and my third one is Like Water for Chocolate. Dilla.
So Com just ran to Boston for you. Com just ran to Boston real quick.
He's just dope, man. And the way the intro for Like Water for Chocolate and just Dilla's, the production, the engineering, the sequencing on that album. Because of that, Like Water for Chocolate, I picked up the Asada Shakur book. You know, I didn't know who she was until I heard that song. I'm like, let me go check out and see who that is. And the whole D'Angelo was on there. It's everybody. The whole Soulquarians was on there. So that's my 3 favorite out the shop.
Man, bro, between Nag Champa and Thelonious, man, that Thelonious.
Oh, Champ Naga? Yeah, Champ Naga Champ or whatever it's called. Yeah, and that Thelonious with Slumpville. Crazy.
Both of them joints is crazy. Rel, what about you, bro?
All right, for me, first I got is B. B is just no skips, man. It's, you know what I'm saying, and like you said, like I thought he was done for, you know what I'm saying, after Electric Circus, and to come back with that, like the corner is so like grimy sounding, but crazy with it, you know what I'm saying, and he ends it off with "It's Your World," man, and that song, man.
Bill Al on the chorus.
That song, yeah, that song is different, man. Like how he was explaining, especially that second verse, talking about the young lady, man, crazy. So I'm gonna go with B, and then College Dropout is my second one. Just it was a breath of fresh air for me. Like when I heard some of them songs, like some of that stuff, like was just like stuff we weren't really hearing at that time. Like it was just like a new type of a new sound. You know what I'm saying? And then like he had 2 words with Mos Def and Freeway, and they trashed that. Like they destroyed that song. That song is crazy. That's one of my all-time favorite song. Like, who would think to put Mos Def and Freeway with Kanye, and just it worked, bro. Like,
you know, one of the things I loved about Ye, he bridged the gap. You know what I mean? Like, Porsche, close your ears for a second. One of my favorite Drake lines, he says, cause somebody gonna have to learn to get along with these hood niggas. Like, the backpack is gonna have to get, like, you gotta, this is how bad it's one of my favorite Drake lines, I don't even know it. But the cusp of the line was bridging the gap, because you got Free on the rock and he's on the rock, but Kanye was rolling with Mos and Talib and them type dudes. You know what I mean? So it was like bridging the gap of, like you said, having a Freeway and a Mos Def on the same song, because that normally would have never happened before. You know what I mean? And I think that's what Ye kind of did, whether it was through, I'm fucking with these hood niggas over here for my beats, like I'm fucking with the Diplomats over here, I'm doing beats for them. But then I'm also running with these, you know, the Roots, to live, these type dudes over here, and bridging that gap. So that's another reason why I love College Dropout. But my bad, what's your last joint?
And my last one is Food and Liquor. I think that's a classic, man. Like, and he got some songs on there, some conceptual songs. Like Kick Push is not necessarily about skateboarding. You know what I'm saying? It's using it as a metaphor. You know what I'm saying? And he has a part 2 to it at the end of the album, where he tells 3 different stories, and it kind of, man, it's amazing. He Say, She Say is the mom talking to the dad that hasn't been around, and the second verse is the actual child saying the same thing to, like, it's crazy, man. And it's like that he just did some things at that time, like for somebody's first album, that was just amazing to me. And the lyricism on that album all the way through was good. I was going between that one and the Cool, but I'll stick with Food and Liquor.
Hey, real quick, did you ever hit a bootleg version of Food and Liquor? It's, you know, he was doing a mixtape series before he dropped the Fahrenheit 1st and 15.
Fahrenheit, right.
It's check that out. It's fair if you could find it. It's probably still on that piff or something. It's Fahrenheit 115 Part 4, and it's the leaked version of Food and Liquor. And boy, he got some joints from that motherfucker. Like Steady Mob. Oh my god, like Steady Mob.
Steady Mob. No, I heard Steady Mob.
That's my joint, bro. Like, he got some shit. Like, it's dope as it came out, but he had some shit that had to come off because of the leak or whatever. But yeah,
what's the name of that mixtape again? Fahrenheit.
It's Fahrenheit 1/15 Part 4. Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor, the leak version.
Okay.
Yo, Steady Mobbin', that the second verse on Steady Mob, yo,
crazy, bro.
Crazy. Yeah.
I think my favorite joint on it was Just Might Be Okay. Like, that was my favorite.
That was crazy, and he started the joint off with that.
Yep. Yeah, he just blacked out on that
from the gate.
Yeah. All right, no doubt. Eddie, top 3 albums out the shop.
All right. I'll start off with like Water for Chocolate. I just think, you know, Common and Dilla together. And I know, you know, we had the one DJ Premier joint, but that was that chemistry, man. Just the way the album kicks off, you know, from the first track up into the light, like, just perfect, you know.
Yo, it's funny you say that, because I felt like that just stuck out. Like, I felt like that was the era of trying to get a premiere track and make it fit when it didn't really need to be a premiere track. Like, put it this way, I'm not mad if they leave that off. It doesn't take away a mic or take away a rate for me.
Right.
If they took off the 6 cents.
Yeah, like, I mean, 6 cents could have been, you know, it could have been a Lucy, or, you know, could have been on something else. Like, it's a dope track, but, you know, with the flow of the album, I feel you, it kind of sticks out.
Right.
So, you know, definitely that's my favorite Common album. The next one I'm gonna go with, I barely hear anyone mention this album, is No ID, Accept Your Own and Be Yourself, the Black Album. No ID solo album with Doug Infinite. They all rapping. Common's featured on there. Like, really dope. Yeah, I love that album. I go back to that one a lot actually, and then I'll go with One Day It'll All Make Sense. I feel like there's I feel like you could compare it to how like the One Day It All Makes Sense and like Water for Chocolate. I feel like you could compare to the Roots, Illadelph Half-Life, and Things Fall Apart. Because I feel like Illadelph Half-Life and One Day It'll All Make Sense, I feel like had the better MCing on those albums. But musically, I feel like Water for Chocolate and Things Fall Apart stepped it up musically and with the whole album and stuff. But MCing wise, the previous albums, were top tier.
All right, no doubt. God, what you got?
Man, this one tough. First and foremost, I gotta go Adrenaline Rush by Twisted. That album right there, like that wasn't at the time when Twisted got his commercial success. That came a few years later with Kanye and Kamikaze. But Adrenaline Rush, from a young dude from the hood in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the southwest side of Chicago, Leclerc Courts. Twisted from out west, you know what I'm saying? So not being from the heart of out west, not being from the heart of out south, but being in the middle, that album was that was one of the ones, you know what I'm saying? From the intro to like the skits to where like he in a pool hall and then his cousin get killed and just like the whole timeline through the shit. Like he really, like Common represented for like the hip hop head in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like he put some of the streets in there too, but Common was always different. Like Twister like took it to like the streets with Adrenaline Rush. And before then, on a mainstream level or anywhere near mainstream level, the streets of Chicago never had that representation. You know what I'm saying? So what Twister did on Adrenaline Rush was like, it was needed at the time, and him and Traxter, they made a motherfucking classic. So Adrenaline Rush will be my first. It's tough, man, because I got a few. I gotta throw Lupe Food and Liquor in there just because like I vibed out to that album for like so long, like Real was saying, just conceptually what he did on a lot of those joints, like Hurt Me Soul probably is my favorite joint off of that, you know what I'm saying? And like the shout out to guys Vibe Villa, they had reacted to the Eternal Reflection, and they pointed out to me that, you know what I'm saying, like I didn't sit and listen to this song and write theme music to Life's Ills, but they pointed out to me what I did on the first verse of theme music to Life's Ills was actually what Lupe did on the last verse of Hurt Me Soul, where he was naming off a bunch of shit like cell phone monitoring, something accomplishing, and I did that shit on the first verse of theme music to Life's Ill, and it wasn't, it was a subconscious influence. It wasn't like I was trying to, you know what I'm saying, channel that, but it is like, damn, like that shit had because like I said, that's my favorite joint from all Food and Liquor. So that shit subconsciously had a profound impact on my shit to where it ended up becoming part of something I did. You know what I'm saying? Because if I did it on purpose, I would definitely give him that homage. Like, yo, this was inspired by Lupe, Hurt Me Soul. But it just happened, like, I don't believe in coincidences. So, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So I go Adrenaline Rush. I go Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor. And last, I'm going to have to say,
you can add like all 5 in there. I always do that with Kill. He'll tell me to do a top 3 and I shove like 10 people in there. So you can do the same.
I might get some honorable mentions. For the third one, I'm gonna have to say B. You know what I'm saying? Like B was just like, that's my favorite Common album. You know what I'm saying? Like B is just like from like The Corner, Food, what else? What's my joint? The Testify joint. Like it's just so much on that album, man. Like it's just so much on that joint. It's just like, damn, like, and again, this was at a time where motherfuckers was counting Common out. Like he out there, he ain't got it no more. And then to drop that, you know what I'm saying? If I want to give some honorable mentions, I say definitely Lupe's Fiasco, The Cool. I definitely say Twister. I was just talking about this on Twitter earlier. A lot of people sleep on Twister's second album, which is called Resurrection. I think it's the second joint. It came out in '94 on Atlantic. And on this,
him and Common had the same album, had the same title.
Yeah,
at the same damn time.
And because Common Resurrection is 94.
It's like 93.
Okay.
93,
So, and I think that's why that album, Twista's album, didn't really get pushed. Because it came out in 94, was called Resurrection, and this was during the time he was feuding with Tretch from Naughty by Nature. And the whole shit, he on some East Coast slow flow shit. It's only one song the way he doing a double time, and it's called Scat Like That. Because I guess back in the day, they used to call it scatting, like how the jazz musicians, you know what I'm saying, would do. And I guess that evolved into speed rapping or whatever with a double time flow. But I think it's like 11 or 12 joints, and on like, if it's 12, on 11 of them joints, it's straight slow flow. No,
And
you
Twista
know what I'm
was
saying?
beefing with Tretch.
Yeah. Twista got into it because Tretch from Naughty by Nature was like, I forgot how it happened, but he basically called Twista album some, you know what I'm saying, speed rap your ass back to Chicago, or tongue twist your ass back to Chicago. Because Twista name used to be Tongue Twister. You know what I'm saying? He used to wear like I was a shorty back in the hood, and he came to my field house to perform for a talent show before he was on. He used to wear the big ass Queen Latifah hats, the African hats. He used to have a nose ring, and he used to wear the leather jacket. He used to wear a leather jacket. He had a logo with like a tongue tied in a knot, and it said Tongue Twister going around in a circle. You know what I'm saying? And it was just, it was no melodic rhythm to it. It was Guinness Book of World Record. I could fit so many syllables into this tiny space type shit. You know what I'm saying? And Tretch, I don't know how or where it started, but Tretch basically dissed him. And he dedicated damn near a whole album to Tretch. And he was getting a Tretch on like every joint. You know what I'm saying? But it's called Resurrection. Yeah, it's streaming. So it's streaming. I know it's on Apple Music. So check that out. Twista Resurrection 94, Atlantic Records.
2 questions for you real quick. Does, like you said, something you said just then made me think of Philly. And you said, you know, Calm was cool, but he didn't really represent the streets like Twista did. Like, and people think the Roots, like during Do You Want More and Philadelphia and things, Philly really didn't fuck with the Roots like that because they didn't represent Philly. Philly is a gritty city. Now, State Property, that represents Philly. Right. You know what I mean? Did Chicago feel that way about Calm? Like, you cool and all, bro, but you ain't repping us. You're not repping our struggle. Like, you know what I mean? How did Chicago take the Calm?
Well, you got to understand, I'm a short. At that time, I'm a shorty.
I forgot you.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm 35 right now. So at that time, when Common first came out, I'm a shorty. You know what I'm saying? So from what I could remember, I know my cousins loved Common. Like my cousins, my big cousin is a big reason of me being the MC who I am today, because all the shit I couldn't get my hands on, because my OG didn't really listen to rap. She did, but not really, and I couldn't buy no explicit content. If I got money, I was broke as fuck anyway, but if I got a little allowance money to go buy something, it had to be non-explicit. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't get a feel for it. When I went out to Indiana with my cousin and spent time with him, this motherfucker was the king of the CD binders. You know what I'm saying? He had 2 for the car, 4 for the crib, and like 2 stashed somewhere else for shit he didn't even listen to no more. So I used to have a field day going to his crib, and they loved Common. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, as I got older, street motherfuckers, you know, I don't consider myself a street dude, but I'm from the hood and all that shit, did my little bullshit or whatever. But we gravitated more towards the Twisters, the Bump J. Shout out Bump J, not from Major Figures, but Bump J. From Chicago.
He went to jail for a minute,
yeah, for robbing the bank and shit. Like motherfuckers that actually, hey, he calling, like he got it for the foes. Like that's a gang, folk on the hustlers and shit out here. Like he got it for the motherfuckers. So like chief on some chief shit. So it's like we gravitated towards him. And if you want to look at it, even though his style of rap is not that, he is the predecessor and the forefather of what will become drill, because he brought that gang shit. I mean, it was gang shit in music in Chicago on an underground level, like how Cali used to do the banging on whack shit. Like it used to be little shit like that floating around Chicago, or motherfuckers have put little subliminal shit. You know what I'm saying? Like EC Illa got a whole joint called "What You Be About," dedicated to gangs. That's how they used to roll up on each other. What you be about, what you claim. And then D.A. Smart will walk with me, where he took you through the whole city in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? And gave you all the hoods and shit. You know what I'm saying? Another Chicago legend. But Bump J was one of the motherfuckers in the early 2000s. He was coming up with Kanye. It just so happened that he was signed to Atlantic. Like he was supposed to be the next one. It was Kanye Blue. Then Twista finally got his just due. Common it came back, but Bump was supposed to be that next one. And it just so happened he got caught up on some street shit. You know what I'm saying? But I would say Chicago has always been a multicultural and a diverse place. It's a gangsta ass city, but it ain't all street. So it was a lot of motherfuckers that was rocking with Common. A lot of motherfuckers was rocking with Common. But it was also that section of motherfuckers like, he don't represent us, but Common is like, I think Common one of the foes. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got it. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers know Common ain't no hoe. Like, he grew up in that shit. He ain't no suburban kid. Like, Common one of them guys. And so I think he one of the four corner hustlers. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers respect Common.
Right. And let me go back and retract my statement. People from the hoods, street niggas really didn't fuck with the Roots. So if you didn't have dreads, if you wasn't burning incense, if you wasn't saying peace, brother, putting your hand on your heart, then you fucked with the Roots. I'm talking about niggas on the corner. Ain't nobody playing fucking I Shall Proceed while they fucking cooking up some crack. That's what I mean. Cause somebody gonna be like, oh, what you talking about? Kill, we love the Roots. Well, yeah, y'all.
Right.
Tell me this. Dopest producer out of the Shy Porsche, who you got?
I had to give it to No ID only because
Yes, sir.
I mean, it was a toss up between Kanye. Like, if you look at my paper, I have like Kanye, and then I put / No ID, and then I like crossed out Kanye, and then I crossed out No ID. So it was like really difficult for me to kind of choose. But when I looked at it, and I kind of looked at all the tracks that I love that they produce, No ID gets the edge. I mean, he did Fallen off American Gangster. That's my favorite song on that album. I Used to Love Her, Common.
You know what? Keep going. I'll remember.
No, go ahead.
The funny thing is that no, finish.
Okay. Yeah, so anyways, just even like 444, Jay's 444, I didn't love that album as much as like maybe other people did. But the songs that I did like, No ID. So I'm seeing a lot of like No ID. For me, like for my ears, I just love the production. So I had to go with No ID. Although Kanye is, again, like I said, I'm not trying to slight Kanye. I know his production is top tier, especially, early on. But yeah, I'm going with No ID.
All right, no doubt. I'm going with No ID too, for the simple fact Kanye would have got it, but of course we just did a whole Apartment 5B Spaces on co-production and ghost production and all that stuff. The second I found out Kanye did not do Cameron's Down and Out, that just puts an asterisk next to your name, because that makes me say, I don't know what the fuck you did. You see what I'm saying? So
it's true. There's a lot of co-production around Kanye, and it's really weird. Like, yeah, I don't know.
That's how Kanye came in the game. You know, I think Kanye came in the game co-producing for Derek D. Angeletti on some mad rapper shit. Yeah. So that's how he came in.
The problem was that with the Down and Out, it wasn't even co-production. You know what I mean? It was so, because when people used to always argue, I'm sure most folks did, it was who's better, Kanye or Just, and I'd always be like, Cam's Down and Out, put on Down and Out. That's always my big joker when I'm talking Kanye. So when I heard Kanye himself, he had a mixtape with different samples that he was using. He said, yo, I didn't do this track. One of my young producers did it. That was it for me. Like, you're X'd off. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what else you produce, because Down and Out is relatively Kanye still young in the game. You know what I mean? So we're not even talking about Kanye now. Like, Kanye after My Dark Twisted Fantasy is like, fucking the janitor be getting co-production on Kanye shit. You know what I mean? Which is good. Like, that nigga won everybody. I appreciate that. I appreciate the janitor said, turn that snare up and then put that nigga name in the liner notes. Like, that's dope. But if you're that early on in the game and you're not making your own beats, then I don't know what I don't. So that took him out. So it goes to No ID. I've always loved No ID since, Resurrection. One day it'll all make sense. So it's nothing but a blessing to see him getting his flowers now. Because before, only time you heard No ID was with Common. And then when Common started fucking with Soul Aquarian by, like Water for Chocolate, it was like, I'll never forget. And I'm from Philly and I love the Roots. I love Dilla, but I'm like, oh shit, like no ID? Like none? You know what I mean? I remember thinking like, damn, then where am I gonna hear No ID beats at? Cause he only get down with Common. You know what I mean? For a while he's fucking with Jermaine Dupri. He has a banger on Tony Braxton's third album. That's crazy, that's stupid. And the reason why you had said Fallen portion, I said the wild part about Fallen is it says produced by Jermaine Dupri, co-produced by No ID. And my thing is if you listen to Fallen, do you really think No ID needed any help making that motherfucking beat?
That's No ID.
Not at all. You know what I mean?
It
is nothing that Jermaine Dupri was in there like the beat was done enough. So that's the only reason why I was saying that portion is like, yeah, like No ID did that beat. But I mean, like you said, his work on 444, he's done some dope stuff for Janae Aiko. He's done some bangers for Melanie Fiona. What else did I write down? Nas's Accidental Murder. Like he's done, I think he did Daughters for Nas. So like, I love the fact, if I'm not mistaken, Ye kind of connected that dot to bring him into the Jay-Z corner. So I love the whole fact that No ID was the one who kind of got Kanye into making beats. And I love to see that that grab back of like, okay, you put me on. Now I'm in a situation to put you on like that. So he did my favorite, one of my favorite Rick Ross joints is Tears of Joy with CeeLo that he did. And that No ID did. So I just love that. So mine is No ID. Neltron, who you got for your dopest producer out the shot?
Same as you and Push. No ID's work on Resurrection is just the communism beat. All his stuff, man. The One Day It All Makes Sense just was like, and like you said, Doug Inf and Why Not don't get enough credit, but I have to give it to No ID, man. No ID was just in his bag during that time from 94 to like 97. Yeah, so that's my choice.
No doubt. Rel, who you got?
I got No ID.
Really?
I'm so shocked at this. I'm like,
so shocked.
Kanye. Like I'm blown.
I honestly was like, I'm gonna be the only one who says No ID, and I'm gonna feel like an idiot. And then here we are, everyone's naming No ID. I love it.
I think some of the co-producing stuff had an effect on my choice as well, and you know what I'm saying. And I like the range in which No ID produces songs. Like he doesn't have like where you hear the song and he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like he is able to adapt to different sounds and different genres and different artists to where like they don't sound the same. You know what I'm saying? Like you can hear some producers, you can hear a song and they did it. You know what I'm saying? With him, like it's fire, and you like, oh, he did that, but then you hear something else that sounds nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think the range. I appreciate the range in which he produces, and I feel like he don't get the recognition that he should get. He got it from working with Jay and all that. You know what I'm saying? Finally, but he had already been at it for a long time before that happened. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he should get more recognition. So I went with No ID as well.
No doubt. Eddie, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going No ID. The one thing I was thinking about was how No ID's career, in a way, it kind of resembles like High Tech. So, both No ID was working with Common early and kind of had like a signature sound almost, just kind of like High Tech working with Talib. But then once they both kind of branched out and started working with other artists, their sound got more diverse. And one thing, like with Kanye, even besides, the co-production stuff and not knowing what he did, I felt like for a period, like his sound started getting stale. Like he had the hits, but the whole Chipmunk Soul thing kind of ran its course, and, and then he kind of switch it up. But then once he kind of switched it up, like maybe around Dark Twisted Fantasy and all that, like then he started having like the rumors, when he switched it up is when all the rumors and co-production, and he didn't do all of this, and maybe he didn't do his drums or whatnot. So and even the Nobody's Smiling, like I liked a lot of what No ID did on that, the later Common album, Nobody's Smiling.
Yes.
It's funny you brought that up because I wanted to ask God how he felt when I heard they were making that album. I was hyped. You know what I mean? I was like, Reunion, No ID, Common. They're talking about Chicago. I heard Kingdom, which was incredible to me. I thought the video was incredible. But I ain't gonna hold you. That album let me down, man, because I really thought like they were gonna like. For me, what I was visualizing for that album is you can't talk about what's going on in Chicago while you in LA shoot movies and No ID in New York running Def Jam. Like to me, if you want to do that album, if me and God said, yo, if you was from Philly, we gonna do an album about, or me and Rel gonna do an album about Philly, nigga, we gotta go rent a crib in Philly for 9 months. We gotta live there. We gotta be in the city again. We gotta go to some of these streets. We need to go to some of these court cases. We need to live that city again in order to give me that. So the album was cool, but I think it was just my expectations. When it was like, yo, Common getting back with No ID, they're doing an album about Chicago. I wanted that whole album to feel like Kingdom. And I just felt like, for me, it didn't. But it was, how did you feel? Like, was that what you expected from that album? Maybe it was just me. I don't know if it was an interview. I don't know what it was, but I just got that this album is going to be about Chicago. Like, this is going to be like a Chicago album. Was that your expectations at all when Nobody Smiling dropped?
Yeah. Like I was kind of underwhelmed too, because I can remember, and like I think this might have been around the time while I was still listening to the radio, like the last years I was listening to the radio. And I think it's the first joint. It got James Fauntleroy on the vocals and G Herbo on there. And the way Herbo kicked that shit off, I love that song. And this is when I wasn't even really fucking with Herbo like that. I'm like, he was just on some drill shit, you know what I'm saying? Or coming up in that era, and I was like, he cool, but whatever. But when I heard Herbo on that, I'm like, oh shit, I might have to check for him, because this shit is crazy. And the way, like, again, I think that's a No ID joint too. Like, to answer your question, yes, I wanted more Kingdom and more of that joint with Herbo on there. You know what I'm saying? That's the dusty, sweeping vocals of James, the more dusty samples, you know what I'm saying? The hard boom bap drums, like that's what I wanted. And it ended up being like, a little different shit.
The neighborhood shit.
That shit is hard. I love that shit.
That
you know what I'm saying?
And I'm with you. I didn't even know who the boy G Herbo was, but I was like, yo, this boy, like whoever this is dope. But it kind of. So my bad. I just wanted to know how you kind of felt about that, because I felt let down. Like I really, if you want to do an album like that, you got. And I'm big on this. Like Will Smith said it once. He was like, he did this album, and the album was whack. But I mean, what I respected about him was he said, yo, I owe hip hop so much that I'm taking a year off of acting. Now for Will Smith, that means you could lose $20 to $40 million, because 2 movies for that nigga is 20 mil a pop. And I felt like that's what you got to do. If you want to make an album, stop acting, stop being vice president of Def Jam, stop trying to sell sneakers, stop trying to be in IBM commercials, and sit here and dedicate your ass. Go to some ciphers, because that shit'll get you sharp again. Go hang out and get into these streets. So I just always feel like hip hop is what got you in these movies. Because my nigga, if you just Lonnie Lynn, ain't nobody casting you for shit. So to me, the least you could do for hip hop is take off 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, hell, Timbaland and Justin made the 2020 both albums in a month. You know what I mean? Just you could take off 2 months to go into the studio and just really get busy. I remember reading the scratch where they were talking about Kanye was saying when they did the Beat album that they was together every day. You know, that they went to go see Ray, the movie, and then came right back and made Go. You know what I mean? Because it's like we together every day. We hanging out. We having a good time. We getting to know each other again. I feel like so much music is now, probably No ID sent them 60 beats. Was like, pick whichever 14 you like, and I just feel like if you want to do an album about your city, do an album about your city. I'm always on the 5 heartbeats. If we gonna do it, let's do it right. If we ain't gonna do it right, then don't do it. But so God, what is your oh, my fault, Ed, what's up?
Oh, I was gonna finish because since I Am God, he mentioned Fauntleroy, like that reminded me, like No ID has that whole cocaine 80s stuff with James Fauntleroy. Like all that stuff is really dope.
It's a bunch of them in cocaine 80s. I think Common, James, I can't remember the young lady, but it's a female vocalist. I can't remember her name, but
now I always hear that name. Is that a group?
Cocaine. I think it's a collective. I don't know if it's a group. They put out a project, if not multiple projects. I know one of them had like a picture of Alice in Wonderland with like coke on the nose or some shit.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
I need that.
Okay, 80s. I got
Yeah.
I heard it was
I'll
real
send it
good.
to you. I'll send it to you, Neutron.
Okay, appreciate it, man.
All right, so God, who's your dopest producer out the shop?
It's unanimous. It's no ID. No disrespect to the
Word.
legendary Traxter. No disrespect to Ye. No disrespect to none of the guys coming up now or anyone that did it and paved the way. But and it's funny because y'all saying that, you know what I'm saying, the rumors and the co-production for Ye kind of X'd him out for y'all. Honestly, and this is me speaking from an artist and MC standpoint, even if there had been no rumors or rumblings in that, I would have picked No ID. Like, I'm gonna be wrong, Kanye got some big shit. He got some big ass records, you know what I'm saying? And he got some dope shit too. But as an MC, as an artist, like, No ID speaks to my soul. Like, if I don't do nothing else in this rap shit, I have to do a project with No ID. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all No ID shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what made me fuck with No ID as hard as I do, it wasn't the 444 shit. It wasn't the shit he did with Jay. On the Dreamer and Believer album, it was a bonus track, and I can't find it nowhere. He did a remix for the title track, Dreamer and Believer. And talk about fucking RZA reincarnated. Like, that was like a side B. Like, if this was like the 90s, that was a B-side. And it was a remix to the Dreamer and the Believer title track. And he absolutely murdered that. I'm talking about, it sounded like a fucking RZA floppy disk retrieved from the flood and restored. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was hard. And I cannot find that joint on YouTube or nowhere. Like, that shit was hard body. You know what I'm saying? That right there alone, I was already privy to his work, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that he got Kanye in, he did early work with Traxter. But that joint right there alone, like, put No ID up there. That's the godfather for me. So No ID, man. Shout out Dion, man.
What the name of that joint was?
The name of the song, yeah, it's the remix to the title track, the Dreamer and the Believer. You know what I'm saying? I think that was the name of the album too. That was the title track, The Dreamer and Believer. And it was the remix. And it was like, he had Common in his bag, but the beat was just so, it sounded like some RZA shit. I'm like, God damn.
That was a joint with Sweet on it, right?
Yeah. Wait, was it Sweet? Yeah, I think it was. And Ghetto Dreams with Nas.
Yeah, Ghetto Dreams. That Ghetto Dreams was hard as hell, man.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, shit like
wait,
that.
this is Common's album?
Yeah, the Dreamer and the Believer.
That Ghetto Dreams joint was crazy. Even the joint Blue Sky, I fuck with that joint.
That's
crazy. Yeah. That joint was Porsche, are you watching the Wu show? Are you watching the Wu series?
I don't have Hulu in Canada. I can't watch it. I don't know where else to see it. Every
can't use somebody else.
No, we can't even access Hulu. They've like blocked Canada out.
Yo, here's the wild part.
You gotta get a VPN.
I'm gonna videotape this part for you because my guy just hit me and was like, "Yo, they had the flood on the last episode."
Yeah,
I got
videotape the flood for you. However they recreate this flood.
Listen, when I got DM'd about that, they were like, "Oh my!" People DM'd me and were like, "Portia, in this episode of the Wu-Tang series or whatever, they talk about the flood, the infamous flood," and I'm like, "But I need source material. Like, who is it coming from?" And we all started laughing because it's just so funny. But yes, please do. I would love to see it.
I think, in all honesty, if you found a DeLorean with Doc and Marty, you would go back to the flood. I really think. I don't think you.
I go back to the first flood, and then maybe the third flood, and I just want to see what happened there.
But you would somehow get back there and leave a note for RZA to get flood protection on.
Yes.
You leave a note to try to change.
What's your music?
The course of hip hop.
Upstairs.
Just off the fact of what we should have got from Inspector Deck. If Uncontrolled Substance, or whatever his first CD was going to be called, if Uncontrolled Substance would have came out as intended, and I didn't even know it was another version of Tikal. I didn't even know that. That's news to me.
Didn't know that
that Tikal that came out in '94, that's not even, I guess, not the version of Tikal. They had to re-record some shit. So imagine just off the Inspector Deck shit. But Tikal too, and Tikal 1 is my shit. Mr. Sandman, King of Pain, Low Style, that's my shit. Yeah. So it's like, imagine, come on, fam. Like that hurt me, and I wasn't even really like on rap like that at the time. I'm like, God damn, RZA, you lost that? And I already had like another flood. Like, I thought, didn't he have multiple floods?
Yeah, he had.
I'm sorry, I would have mute my mic.
Yeah, he had multiple floods that Portia does not believe because it's like, okay, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Wait, she thinks it's a fairy tale or something?
I mean, it's just when you really think about it like this, bro. Think about it like this. If you're in the basement and you have a flood, right? You're like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get an apartment. I'm gonna keep all the floppies up. Then the apartment above you has a flood that ruins it. It's like maybe you're just not meant to be a producer. Like 3 floods is
Risa
just like,
is Aquaman, okay? Because clearly wherever he goes,
Oh, this nigga Aquaman.
man, listen, how many?
Hell no.
I mean, let me shut up and just not say shit because but
Hey,
I don't know. But
RZA needs to keep a relic of the Moses staff in his basement to part the waters whenever.
Listen, man, listen. Like we should do a show just about the flood 1 through like 50 or whatever there was.
1 through 50. That's funny as hell.
Man.
All right, tell me this, God. Talk a little bit about this new drill movement. With the Chicago. Well, let me say this. Talk about Chicago hip hop right now, because I think, and I'm only speaking for myself, from the outside looking in, it seems to be heavily drill that you explained to me the last time. Is there boom bap hip hop? Is there a lot of people in Chicago making the music that you make?
Yes.
Okay.
Most definitely. Yes.
Okay.
And with that being said, this is a perfect opportunity to shout out guys like Fillmore Green, Rashid Hadi, Vic Spencer, Water, King 7, Brittany Carter, Olive Blue, who was an R&B vocalist, Freddie Oso, another talented female MC, super dope, super crazy. You still got some of the OGs doing it, like Ange 13, she was ill, State Assassins. Vakil just put out a project, God's Gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man never lost a step. You know what I'm saying? Who else?
What about Kid's sister? You ever heard of her?
I heard the name, but I'm not familiar with the music.
Okay.
I heard the name some time ago, but I'm not familiar. Yeah. But yes, Chicago. I don't use that hashtag for nothing. Chicago never forgot how to rap. And I think a lot of people, with drill taking over, becoming like the social media sensation, and it's the talk of Chicago, you know what I'm saying? And it's nothing new. It's just a new name to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, to break it down, drill was kind of like, before everything is kind of based around music. So before it was music, it was just a term, like meaning you finna go do a hit. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go do a drill. Like, Buddy Gotta Die. I'm finna go lay him down. I'm finna go do a drill. That shit was started by, I don't know if y'all familiar with him, but during the Chief Keef era, a rapper by the name of King Louis, he go by King L now. He kind of coined the term and the phrase drill, but it was actually his man's, rest in peace, I think his name was Dro. You know what I'm saying? They from a hood called Dro City. Or no, his man name was Pac-Man, I think, Pac-Man. And he said his man's kind of like coined the term drill. You know what I'm saying? It was on some street shit. So that shit led into the music, like the shorties, because to try to break it down on some timeline, on some chronological shit. In the 80s and the 90s, and even before then, Chicago was a very organized type of city, like crime, everything, even a gang structure. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even talking about the Italian mob or the Irish mob, black gangs, Hispanic gangs. Very organized, so much so that they didn't even like being gangs. They wanted to be called nations. That's why everything is such and such N, BPSN, GDN, VLN, 4CHN. Is that N is for nation. You know what I'm saying? So within these nations is a lot of sub gangs and splintered off factions in these gangs. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too much different from the West Coast, so to speak, because you got the Hoover Crips, you got Southside Crips, you got whatever Crips, you know what I'm saying? You got GDs, you got Gangster Disciples, you got Spanish Gangster Disciples, you got Maniac Latin Disciples, you got Insane Gangster Disciples. It's like all types of shit within these nations. You know what I'm saying? So you lock up all the gang chiefs. The gang chiefs either get locked up and get football numbers, you know what I'm saying? Larry Hoover, Jeff Fort, you know what I'm saying? They fall victim to what the fuck they doing, meaning they get murdered or they become fiends, you know what I'm saying? And you knock down these high rises. Chicago, Queensbridge got the largest housing projects in the world now. Cabrini Green held it, and that's in Chicago. Cabrini Green had it. They knocked that shit down. It's like maybe some row houses left. Like we had high rises though. Like I'm from row houses. I'm not from the high rises. The high rises was like out south. I'm from the southwest side. So my shit was double 2-story row houses. But we had high rises and they look like jail tiers. You know, when you go to the penitentiary, you know, the motherfuckers go up and they got the gates. You know what I'm saying? You can't lean over the banister or the balcony like that. It's gated up. That's exactly how the projects used to look. Motherfuckers be like 15 stories and it's gated up all the way. You know what I'm saying? So when you come out your front door, you walk in this hallway, there's doors here and then it's gates there. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. They knocked them down. So the bullshit used to be centralized. You got this gang in these buildings and these sets of buildings in this neighborhood. You got this gang and this set of buildings in this neighborhood. When they knock that shit down and then there's no structure, it's anarchy in the streets. Now all these motherfuckers who were centralized in these few areas, they fucking everywhere. So now you got GDs right down the block from BDs. They mortal enemies. And we all, well, I'm saying we, like I ain't gang banging years, but it all used to be a part of the same shit. You know what I'm saying? And through history, shit happen. And you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers become enemies and motherfuckers don't even know what that shit is about. They carry that shit on. That's just because that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the most talked about rivalry in Chicago was the GDs and the BDs, the Gangster Disciples, which is supposed to be growth and development nowadays, and the Black Disciples. You know what I'm saying? So you knock down these buildings, you got all these motherfuckers mixed in everywhere. You take away the leaders. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I said, it's total chaos. It's anarchy on the streets. You know what I'm saying? So this drill shit is a product of what was already here. Drill is nothing new. It's just a different time and some different generation of motherfuckers just put an actual name to it. It was gangbanging when I was a shorty. Now it's drill. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And if you want to get real about it, the murder rates was way higher back in the 80s and the early 90s. So it's just social media. We have access to so much information and you can see something a million fucking times and that leads you to believe that, oh shit, it's really crazy out there, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's a lot of bullshit, but at the same time, the murder rates, the homicide rate was way higher because you got to think about what crack did to inner city communities mixed with the gang shit. So we talking about 600-700, you know what I'm saying, murders in a year. Chicago used to be borderline 1,000 murders, you know what I'm saying, like on an annual basis. So it is what it is. And just to make it clear, you know what I'm saying, like I appreciate all the love, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers calling me, you know what I'm saying I got some of the best music out of Chicago. I'm definitely a Chicago representative. I'm from Leclerc Courts, 44th and Cicero Road, 45th and La Crosse. You know what I'm saying? I don't currently stay in Chicago. I'm a little north, you know what I'm saying? But I never left the crib. I'm just a 45-minute drive away. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to put that out there so it ain't making it seem like I'm coming on here fronting shit. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Now tell me this, like we said earlier, you're the tour guide. I'm coming to Chicago. I'm actually coming to Chicago in 2022. I've already got some stuff lined up out there. So
we definitely got to get up. Yes, sir.
That's easy.
Yes,
First
sir.
place, where am I getting my cut? You know, I'm from Philly, so the cut, I got to get the beard shaped up. Where am I going to get the cut and my beard shaped up in Chicago?
I can't answer that, but I definitely got, you know what I'm saying, I definitely got my peoples that'll get you right. I'm out here where I'm at, so my guy, shout out my guy Chewy, he lined me up. I'm definitely not taking a 45-minute ride to get a haircut. That's out of the question.
I feel that.
So the barbershops I used to fuck with back when I stayed in Chicago, them motherfuckers gone. But shout out Ron G. You know what I'm saying? He used to have the barbershop in the hood or whatever. He was also a MC, low budget entertainment and all that. Shout out Ron G. But we could get you right on that. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember. The last time I got my haircut in the crib was probably for a concert like a couple of years ago or some shit. Like I was just out there and I was like, you know what I'm saying? Let me see who, you know what I'm saying, got it on the Clippers. But you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers will definitely get you right. It's a dope barber, like shit, like it's a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like barbers, it's just something that you're gonna run into. You know what I'm saying? So I can't give you no spots because it's been so long since I got a cut out the crib, but motherfuckers will definitely get you right. That's not a problem at all.
All right, next up, I gotta go sneaker shopping. Where in Chicago do you go to get your Jordans? I heard Marcus Jordan got the trophy room out there. I definitely want to slide through and see that. I know the price is gonna be stupid, but
Facts.
where am I going in Chicago to get my kicks?
So yeah, you definitely got a few spots. I'm not real big on the resale market, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of I kind of got a disdain for that shit, but it is what it is. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But besides places like Trophy Room, we do got like a Nike Town out there and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's downtown shit. You got a spot called Success, which is also downtown Michigan Ave shit. You know what I'm saying? Decent little sneaker shop, nice variety of shit. Excuse me. You got Leaders, you know what I'm saying? LDRS Leaders 1354, you know what I'm saying? Like they near downtown off Madison Avenue. You know what I'm saying? It's more like a boutique. They do like street apparel, but they do got sneakers in there. You also got Juggernaut, you know what I'm saying? I'm repping the brand right now, you know what I'm saying? They downtown off Dearborn, which is another like clothing boutique. I don't know if they do sneakers, you know what I'm saying? But I know Success and Leaders do sneakers. And you also got Fashion Geek, you know what I'm saying? Fashion Geek, I think they still got a location on the south side on like 95th, you know what I'm saying? And they do I think they got some type of deal with like Puma. They do a lot of Puma shit, you know what I'm saying? Like they do a lot of Puma shit in there, but Fashion Geek is their own brand. So I don't know them personally, but shout out Zoe and Cal. Like I respect their grind and their hustle because they do like high-end streetwear. You know what I'm saying? But those are a few that I could remember off my head. You know what I'm saying? Success, Leaders, Juggernaut, and Fashion Geek. You know what I'm saying? The boutique joints.
All right, now here's the part that gets me excited because y'all know I count calories, so I don't get to eat a lot of shit. Deep dish pizza. Like I'm not eating for 2 days so that I can have enough calories to eat a fucking deep dish pizza. Where is the best pizzeria in Chicago?
Believe it or not, man, deep dish pizza, that's tourist food, bro. Chicagoans don't be on that shit like that.
Somebody told me that too.
That's tourist food. Like, we don't do deep dish pizza like that. That's the other side of Chicago's Chicago pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you talking about a motherfucker like me, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood, so like I'm cool with some home run in or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Giordano's. Like, if you ask me what Chicago style pizza is, it's a big ass pie cut into squares. That's our shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't do the big ass gigantic triangular slices. That's New York shit. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? A big pie, thin crust, cut that motherfucker into squares. You know what I'm saying? That's us. So, you know what I'm saying? A home run in, Giordano's. Home run in was more like when I was a shorty. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers used to love home run in when I was a shorty.
That's so crazy to me because it's so crazy because that's what y'all are known for. But you like, we don't fuck with it. Like that, bro, that would almost be like, us being like, niggas, we don't eat cheesesteaks. Like, we don't never eat cheesesteaks.
Like, don't get it fucked up.
Every day.
Don't get it fucked
every
up.
Day.
I definitely wouldn't say deep dish pizza is the equivalent to a cheesesteak in Chicago. Philly.
So what is Chicago? Maybe I'm fucked up then. What is Chicago? What's the food that Chicago's known for?
Well,
the wings with the mild sauce.
Yeah, we got a lot of shit though. Like, Chicago would jerk any fucking thing. Like, it's so many jerk spots in Chicago now. Like, motherfuckers would jerk anything. Like, on my soul, like, it's crazy. Like, it's a jerk every fucking thing in Chicago now. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers would jerk any fucking thing, bro. Like, but besides, like, you know, the default shit, you know what I'm saying? Definitely Harold's and Uncle Remus. Like, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of motherfuckers be like, this over that over this. Like, I fuck with both because, like I said, I'm from the southwest side. So I was 10 minutes away from out west, and I'm 10 minutes away from the heart of out south. So a Harold's was in my close vicinity, and a fucking Uncle Remus was in my close vicinity.
So what's Harold and Remus? Is that soul food? What's that?
It's basically chicken shacks. You know what I'm saying? Fried chicken shacks. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I would say Harold's is definitely more known. You know what I'm saying? Shit, Wale name dropped it. You know what I'm saying? On some negative shit, but you know what I'm saying? It's been name dropped on some positive shit too, but Harold's, you know what I'm saying? To me, the best one, I think, was on 87. It was off the Red Line, like the train station and all that. You know what I'm saying? But they shut that one down, just like the best Uncle Remus, the original Uncle Remus, was off Madison. They shut that one down, and it's another one around the corner on like Central or some shit on Central and Madison. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been to that one, but I know years ago I was at the one on Madison, and that shit was delicious. Like, but you got places like, see, I'm not a steakhouse dude. I don't like really big restaurants. So when I go to Chicago, when I'm in Chicago, I'm looking for the little shit like Harold's, Uncle Remus if I'm out west, Sharks. You know what I'm saying? What else? It used to be the spot called J&J Fish, JJ's Fish, that was popping. I ain't really fuck with JJ's Fish like that, you know what I'm saying, in a minute. But like I was saying, the equivalent to y'all cheesesteak would be like Harold's. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if y'all have a specific spot to where you feel like, no, this place is the king of cheesesteaks. This is what you get your motherfucking cheesesteak from. For us, that's Harold's.
D'Alessandro's.
I put Rel on the Mamas. Rel, tell them about Mamas.
Yeah. That's a close second, bro. Like, it's just that it's out the way. You know what I'm saying?
It's out the cut.
But yeah, Mamas is. I can't front. I rolled past. I said, "Is this what John Kills talking about?" I stopped in there. Yeah, they official. But if you gotta pick, so number one, it would be D'Alessandro's, man. D'Alessandro's definitely is the it. I mean,
yeah. See, and that Harold shit could be a little tricky because it's a franchise. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different people that own them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the chicken tastes a little different. The last bomb ass Harold's location I had, Hyde Park is cool. You know what I'm saying? This one on 55th and Hyde Park. That one decent. Believe it or not, like Wicker Park is kind of like, I guess you want to say hipster area. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. They got a Harold's out there, like, and they shit. It was pretty decent. Like, I was surprised. You know what I'm saying? They shit was decent. It is still something like out south in the hood. You got one in Bronzeville. Where is that at? I think it's 35th in Bronzeville. And I think it is one more out south in like the 80s. I ain't been to that one, you know what I'm saying? But it's some decent spots. You just got to know where you're going. But like a Harold's, a Sharks, or Uncle Remus, like, you know what I'm saying? And this is just my shit. Like, this is the places I frequent. You also got like Maxwell Street in Jewtown. That's like the late night shit. Like after you come from the club or whatever, it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and you just need that grease that balance out that liquor in your system. You know what I'm saying? Like they got the greasy ass burgers. Yeah, they got the burgers. They got the Polishes. You know what I'm saying? The Polish sausages. You know what I'm saying? Like Italian beefs and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's big in Chicago too. Italian beefs. You know what I'm saying? Like Chicago is definitely a food city. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, where's the hip hop spot? So, like out here in DC, it will be the Howard Theater. Like that's where Griselda's gonna be performing. That's where any throwback Kane Rakim shows are gonna be at. What's that? Where's the spot after we eat? We gonna go see a dope show at.
So on some lower level shit, like I just performed here on last Saturday. It was, you know what I'm saying? Subterranean. This spot is legendary to me because it's been around for so long, and it's kind of like what the hip hop shop will be regarding 8 Mile or whatever they call it, the shelter. It's based on the hip hop shop in Detroit. It would kind of be the equivalent to that. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little, I don't want to call it a hole in the wall, but you know, the little hole in the wall joint that's been around forever. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers love it. You still catch a dope ass show. It's actually 3 levels, but like the upstairs got an upstairs. You know what I'm saying? It's a double level upstairs, and then like the bottom level is for like smaller events and shit. But you know, the upstairs, like Flea Lloyd then came through. Boldy James was just there like a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? It's been a few motherfuckers to come through and rock that stage.
That's Kill Mans right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Portia's favorite MC was Boldy.
Oh my god.
Oh no, I already seen some Portia tweet.
MC NyQuil.
But
I'm trying to stay up during the show.
If I was to go to a Boldy James show, I'd bring my sleeping bag with me. I think it would be like a giant slumber party.
Y'all wild as hell.
Listen, Boldy James is good. It's just he's like audio sleepy time medicine. I don't know. That's how I used to rap. I used to rap super monotone like years ago though. Before I found my voice, I used to rap super monotone. And like funny sidebar, real quick funny story. Legendary DJ for Chicago, GCI, Mike Love. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to listen to his show with him and the Diz, Mike Love and the Diz. That's why I get all my hip hop from as a shorty. Like I used to pause mix. Like I'm from that era, like that tail end of that era, right before CDs. Like I used to sit my ass by the radio faithfully. Steal one of my mama cassettes. She'll beat my ass when she found out, stuff the little tissue or tape the holes. You know what I'm saying? And be right there waiting to hear some shit. That's why I first heard Noriega Super Thug. And my mind was blown that you could make a chorus off 100 times. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking 12-year-old. That shit was crazy. But yeah, like I'd happened to get him a mixtape. I did. Like it was having some shit called the Chicago Idol. It's based on American Idol, and basically it was a contest with different stages, and you get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And you would win or whatever, and you get like
don't know if it was like a studio session and like some money. I forgot what it was. This was years ago. But I gave him my CD and I wrote my number on it. And like I actually chopped it up with him over the microphone. And he was like, and at this time I'm young. I'm about 15, 16, some shit like that. Maybe a little older. I'm young. And I've been hearing I'm dope for all my life. So I'm expecting him to say, yeah, I'm dope. You know what I'm saying? So he tell me like, you all right. You know what I'm saying? But you monotone as shit. And like I was crushed. Like I'm on the phone like, nigga, what? You know what I'm saying? Like it's my first time hearing that shit. You know what I'm saying? But thinking back, it's like, damn, like I can't even listen to like, I don't even think I have none of that old shit. And if I do, I probably had never listened to it again. It's like, it's just crazy. Like the maturation has definitely been real. But quick side note, like I definitely used to rap super monotone. I had bars, always had bars, but just super monotone. But yeah, other than Subterranean, you got Reggie's. That's a nice little spot. Bigger venues, we got a House of Blues out here. What else? The Autobahn. I know Ray, Ghost, and Jizzle was just at the Concord Music Hall for the Three Chambers tour. We got another spot, the Autobahn something. I know I seen Griselda there like a couple, like maybe 2 years ago, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
And everything is back open in Chicago. Everything, y'all, all the spots open.
Yeah, some of the shit they be flexing like they want you to either be fully vaccinated or have proof of negative testing. You know what I'm saying? But everything is back open for the most part. Some joints you gotta wear mask. I think you got to wear mask indoor everywhere in Cook County. I think they're indoor policy masked up.
All right, no doubt. So tell me this, being a Chicagoan. Oh, one more question about this. White Sox or the Cubs?
Again, I'm one of them motherfuckers to where like it don't matter. It's Chicago. I'm not really a baseball fan. You know what I'm saying? But if I own a Sox fitted and a motherfucking Cubs fitted. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact how I feel today. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because I never understood why y'all had two teams. Like with New York, I get it. Like the Bronx got the Yankees, Queens got the Mets. For the most part, most people I know are Yankees fans, but you really can't be both. Like in New York, like you will never find somebody like, oh, I'm a Yankees and a fucking Mets fan, or I'm a Giant and I'm a Jets fan. So I was just trying to understand, why do y'all have two teams? Is it like was one team
it's always
side or one side?
Yeah. Okay. We have neighborhoods like every other city, but it's like sides is everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the north side. We call the north side of the North Pole. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm from up north, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's one of the neighborhoods up north. You know what I'm saying? Like, or the east side over east. You know what I'm saying? We call the south side out south. We call the west side out west. East side is over east. You know what I'm saying? So it's just sides. You know what I'm saying? Chicago is a real segregated city. You know what I'm saying? It's real sectional. You know what I'm saying? You got little Mexico, you got little Italy, you know what I'm saying? You got this, you got that. You know what I'm saying? It's a very segregated city, and it was done so purposely. You know what I'm saying? Our highway runs smack dab in the city.
Like somebody was telling me, like Michigan State is for the rich people. No, for the I guess poorer people, and then Michigan is where the richer people would go. So is it something like that? Because I'm just stuck. Like I feel like Chicago is like Philly, but we don't got two baseball teams. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it always tripped me out. Like, you know, why like is like White Sox kind of like, you know, more predominantly white team, and the black folk bang with the Cubs, or it just don't even matter.
Yeah, I think it got something to do with us being the third largest city. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess they feel like they had that pull to where they could do the two-team thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they have their own separate stadiums, or they share stadiums?
Nah, the Cubs play in Comiskey Park, and the Sox play what used to be what was the name of the stadium? Wrigley. I know it's the Cubs and Wrigley. The Cubs is playing at Wrigley. You know what I'm saying? And and whatever the Sox shit is, they changed it to US something field, US Cellular Field. Like they bought that shit out of some shit. If that's still a name of it. Like I said, I ain't a baseball fan of it. Like I still be like the Sixers playing at the Spectrum. So I feel like keep up with because they change the names every you buy it, then you gotta change the whole name. So right. Definitely feel you. What is Chicago's place in hip hop? If you got 1 to 2 words to talk about, what does Chicago for you bring to hip hop? Like what is, you know, you're presenting this like what is Chicago's
piece of the puzzle.
Culture. We bring culture to this shit. And the reason I say that is Chicago is a very, with me saying Chicago is a segregated city, it's definitely a cultural city because you got so many different cultures here. You know what I'm saying? So Chicago is that culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's visible now, but I feel like Chicago been giving hip hop and kind of pop culture its bullet points for years now. And we just never got that credit because it was nobody other than like Kanye or Common that was like out there for us, or a Lupe or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Chicago gives, we make contributions to the game in waves. I don't feel like we a staple. I always say I don't feel like we planted our flag. Like, motherfuckers respect us to a certain degree, but I feel like we should be respected like a New York or a West Coast or even a South. And I don't feel like we get that level of respect. I feel like we get whatever level is beneath that. I don't feel like we get an East Coast or West Coast or a down South respect. And it's like I said, I think that's due more so we give contributions, we make contributions in waves. I don't feel like we have flagship artists. Like, we do, you got Common, you got Kanye, yeah, Twista, but like, we don't have as many to name like the West Coast. And I understand you talking about a city going up against coast.
That's what I was just about to ask, because even in thinking of doing this show, I'm like, yo, I really can't name more than 5 Chicago MCs. Like, from the 90s, from 1990 to now, I can't really, after Kanye, Lupe, and Twista, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of left. And it's shocking because it's such a big city. So what do you think, why do you think that is, that there aren't more signed MCs coming out of Chicago?
We too real for our own good. Like, Chicago is really that city to where shit'll go south if you're not careful. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying we the only city, but we really one of those cities. Like, it's no secret why we never had a major record label here. You know what I'm saying? It's been like rumblings of motherfuckers coming through here and setting up small shit, but nothing that never lasted, because who want to be located in a place like, what you got to understand about Chicago, like, some of the worst neighborhoods was like 5 minutes from downtown, where all the white folks with the briefcases at. Like, literally, our blocks are different. Like, we don't have mile-long blocks. Like, you can walk 10 blocks in like 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how close together everything is. It's a big ass city, but Cabrini Green was basically downtown. You know what I'm saying? Like, a side of Cabrini Green was basically downtown. 5 minutes this way, you know what I'm saying? You on Dearborn or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You downtown. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't even look like you belong here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think no label want to put no representative somewhere to where a motherfucker blow their shit off for playing with their money. You know what I'm saying? Because Chicago is really one of them cities. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we give off contributions in waves, but it's always to the point to where motherfucker had to leave to get where they needed to go and do what they needed to do. You can't really think of nobody who made it staying centralized in Chicago. Like, he's just not one of them cities. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's the same story everywhere else. The crab in the bucket shit. Like, I feel like we kind of over that part of it, but it still remains to the sense that even the supporters, certain motherfuckers that support you, but until a motherfucker from outside the city shout your name, motherfuckers just going, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really paying attention. So it's one of them type of things. You know what I'm saying? We too real for our own good.
I feel that. Well, definitely dope show. I can't wait to go to Chicago now. You know what I mean? We just gonna have to throw a dart, because I gotta get a deep dish. I ain't eating 2 days, so we just gonna have to throw a dart and go somewhere to get a deep dish.
No, we fuck with it. We fuck with it. Yeah, we fuck with it. But it's like, we fuck with that shit maybe like once or twice out of the year, and definitely prepare to shit a softball after you eat that shit too. Like, definitely prepare for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is. That shit, it might be good, but yeah, you gonna have hell on the other side of that, bro.
Yeah, it's funny, bro. I mean, I'm the type that I may just eat one slice, bro. Like, that's
all you need.
Like, that's all I may eat. Like, I never forget this one time. I wanted a deep dish from Chicago, the Uno's spot they used to be.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
We drove all the way to fucking Virginia. Got there, was about to order it. Man, I saw how many calories that was. I was like, fuck it, give me a thin crust. Fuck, I done drove fucking an hour to get a deep dish, and I was like, yo, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. So I feel you on that. Eddie, give them everything, good brother. Tell them about Freestyles. Where can they get at you? What is Freestyles? All that good stuff.
Yes, sir. So I'm on Twitter at EddieD80, Instagram at Freestyles. And yeah, freestyles.com, you know what I mean? Just, you know, reviewing and promoting all the independent artists, you know what I mean? I reviewed all 3 of I Am God's album. You know, we got 2 out this year, The Eternal Reflection and Hell's Angels, Heaven's Demons. You know, both really dope. So, you know, check out those reviews. And, you know, I've been on a little hiatus, you know what I mean? You know, be honest, you know, life goes on. I started a new job. So I'm kind of figuring out my schedule a little bit, but definitely going to come back. You know, I got some more reviews lining up. Just at a busy time right now, but I definitely got plenty of content out there. And like I always say, if you're an independent artist, you know, you got some stuff out there you want me to review, yo, hit me up, send it my way.
All right, no doubt. Rel, tell them everything, bro.
Yes, Uptown J Ben on the gram. Fair Great is on the gram as well. That's the clothing line, man. Work and coaching football have been kicking my ass, so I've been slacking a little bit. But you know, once football season over, I'll be back to, you know, getting creative. You know what I'm saying? Football take a lot out of you, man. So I've been kind of slow, but I still got some good products up on there. So check it out. JBen215 on Twitter. That's it.
All right, Neltron, where can they get at you, good brother?
I'm on IG and Twitter at Neltron8000.
All right. I Am God. Give them everything. All the albums, where they can support you, where they can follow you, what you working on next, everything.
Yes, so you can get with me on Twitter and Instagram at GodMC. That's GAWDEMCEE. The YouTube is I Am God. I got some videos from my previous projects. I ain't really did no videos for my last couple projects, but definitely I'll be getting back into that. Just working on the sound and the music. What else? The Facebook page. I'm not on that too often, but what I am is I Am God as well at GodMC, GAWDEMCEE. I got one more project I'm trying to get out before the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to come super late December with this one. I don't want to give too much away about it. I'm still I'm at the tail end of the recording process. So in the next few weeks, hopefully I'll be putting this shit together, you know what I'm saying, and packaging it up real nice, you know what I'm saying? But I will say it's entirely produced by the homie, The Black Depths, you know what I'm saying? Super dope ass producer. I think he's from the DMV area, but he out of Fort Worth, Texas. Raw as hell, you know what I'm saying? I really fuck with his sound. He kind of like the shit he gave me for this shit has like a mid to late 90s RZA-ish kind of vibe to it. So I'm excited for y'all to hear me over that type of production. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just working, man. I'm just continuing to try to evolve as an artist, you know what I'm saying? Make sure I ain't going backwards, make sure I ain't never devolving, and just giving y'all the best content that I possibly can at the time and point. So yeah, more shit to come. 2022, I feel like, I don't know what, but I feel like something significant is gonna happen. So we'll see.
That's what it is. Porsche, let them know everything.
On Twitter at Cherchez La Porsche, and every Monday we do Twitter Spaces, Apartment 5B on Twitter Spaces. So that's 6:15 Pacific time, 9:15 Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time now. But yeah.
All right, no doubt. You already know this with me, Kill 889 Twitter, IG. 2 projects out right now. The first 48 with King James. You can get that at jamesspitflames.bandcamp.com.
Bro, it's here.
Second joint. Thank you, brother. Yeah. Appreciate that. Working on an album now with him, which is sounding even doper than this is sounding. And then I got another project out with my man Echo. Echo is the name season 7. So it's Echo is the name.bandcamp.com. Did a 5-song EP with him too. So check that out. Rel got the ill t-shirts. Eddie got Freestyles. I Am God got multiple projects out. Neltron got the comment in the back. This guy's the genius behind the scenes. Portia, you're just the host with the most, man. You know what I mean? Like, you have taken Apartment 5B brand and the whole Twitter spaces. I appreciate you. I love to just see everybody winning. I love to see just dope things happening. So I will check y'all next week, y'all.
See you guys.
Peace.